Welcome to the Ken Coleman Show. 96% of millionaires have what in common? I'm going to tell you. And then no more pizza in California? I'll explain. Let's go. All right, welcome to the Ken Coleman Show. Thrilled that you are with us. This is where we help you win at work. And if you're winning at work, you got a shot at winning in life. All right, so we're going to talk about millionaires. All right, I think if you think about this topic, I just think pretty much everybody likes the idea of being a millionaire. Now, you see a lot of headlines now, and you see a lot of hand-wringing and pearl clutching about $1 million doesn't go as far as it used to and all this garbage, but goodness gracious. $1 million is still a lot of money. Still a lot of money. And do you remember the show Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? For those of you that are not old enough to remember, Regis Philbin came out with the very first version of this game show called Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? And it was a very popular show, and I think in large part because it was such a great title. You know, you think about any kind of new show or any new product, and it gets released en masse, and you got all the commercials and you could see it. You still got to decide based on the preview, the commercial, the promotion, whether or not you want to watch it. And I remember when that show came out, I thought to myself, this is a brilliant title because the answer to that question is everybody. Who wants to be a millionaire? Everybody. Now, here is, in fact, a little-known fact. I don't think it gets talked enough about, and we teased it as the not-so-secret. And what that simply means is if you were to sit down with millionaires and you were to just sit with them over lunch and maybe you record the conversation on your smartphone or you took notes or just sat there and you just asked them questions about their journey and how they got there, you would be able to figure out pretty quickly a theme. And this theme is backed up by the largest study of net worth millionaires that's ever been done. And we did it here at Ramsey Solutions. Very proud of the study. So there is a very clear pattern, and there is a very clear element that is in every story. And the data is striking. And I'm going to reveal it in a second, but here's what I want you to understand. This idea that millionaires are lucky, that they're just more fortunate than other people, and therefore, I'd like to be a millionaire. Maybe I'll try to some extent, but I really have little to nothing to do about it, is completely false. Now, I will give you cynics for a moment. I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt because I can think of multimillionaires who I'm friends with or acquaintances with or heard about that did nothing at all. They simply were born into a very wealthy family, and as a result of their family success, they are very, very wealthy. We all know those people. But what I think we do is we give those stories way too much weight. And we just go, look, there's just people that are lucky to be born in a wealthy home, and I'm not that. And I read all these stories about how hard it is to win as a self-employed person or whatever. And what happens is we stack the deck mentally against our own ambition, against our own possibilities of being wealthy. Okay? But I want to level the playing field because the idea that I just go get a degree, I go to work, I hustle, hopefully I get with a really good company that's got good stock options, or I catch the promotional wave and I keep it in the road, I keep my nose clean, and I end up making $1 million, or I become a millionaire through really good salary and stock and blah, 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 and 401k and all things. That's not just how this happens. That, again, is leaving way too much to chance. I don't like that. I know I have way more control than that. And so today I want to level the playing field. Do you know what the secret is? The not-so-secret of millionaires? Well, Ramsey Solutions did a study of 10,000-plus net worth millionaires, the largest study to date of net worth millionaires. And here's what we found. The secret? 96% of millionaires identified as loving the work they do. Enjoyment is high. Passion, high. Here's what else we found. Of those 96% of millionaires who said they enjoyed, loved their work, they reported a 58% higher net worth than the millionaires who said they didn't love their work. So this is pretty fascinating stuff. How do you argue this data? Well, in a day and age where everybody thinks they can argue anything, I got news for you. You can't argue this data. You cannot argue it. 96% of millionaires said they loved their work and that it was a huge factor in them being so successful. More on that in a moment. But the 4% of millionaires that said, don't really love the work. It's what I do. I'm good at it, whatever. That's interesting because they made 58% less, or their net worth, in other words, was 58% less than those who loved it. So this is a staggering number. So why do I bring this up? Because I want you to understand that a huge ingredient to your professional and financial success is the 4-letter word that we all enjoy, and it's love. 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 We love to love. We love to be loved. Think about how much we love to love our team when our team's good. Think about how much we love to love our favorite artists. You should have seen my 15-year-old daughter. She got to go as a guest of her friend to Taylor Swift this year in Nashville. She was at Bridgestone, and good Lord, if it wasn't enough to get a free ticket to Taylor Swift, she got to go in a suite. And she was there screaming alongside of thousands of other women, ages, 8 to 58? I had a friend who worked for Taylor Swift's management company, and he surprised me. Kelly, you'll love this. Are you a Swiftie? Kelly's a Swiftie. I get a text from him one day. He said, hey, just dropped off something on your front porch for Josie. Hope she likes it. Okay. So I don't get home for a couple hours. I get home and I remember about this, so I'm kind of curious. I had a hunch it was a Taylor Swift something or other. A bag full of Taylor Swift clothes. Long sleeve tees, Kelly. Short sleeve tees. Hoodies. There were at least 2 hoodies, all from this latest tour and all this stuff. And so I thought, well, this is really nice. I'm going somewhere with this, by the way. This is all about love. I call Josie and I say, Josie, girl, I got something for you downstairs. She's like, okay, I'll be there in a minute. I go, you need to come now. I was getting a little excited. Now, I was trying to get Dad of the Year award. I had no idea about the reaction that was about to happen. She comes downstairs. I have the bag behind my back, Kelly, and I do one of these numbers. I pull around and I go, here you go, baby. I never even looked inside of it. I just knew it was a bunch of Taylor Swift stuff. She pulls it out. I mean, she couldn't talk. She goes from not being able to talk to one hand over the mouth while making squealing noises to when she finally pulled out one of the hoodies, she began to, and I'm not exaggerating, she began to cry. She was so overcome with joy that she began to cry, and it shocked me. By the way, for those of you that are keeping score, I only have one daughter, and so everything's a first. And so experiencing a daughter at 15 is very different than experiencing a daughter at 13. And so all this stuff I'm still somewhat surprised by. Because if I did the same thing for my boys, like their favorite rapper, they'd be like, oh, cool, thanks, Dad. I might get a thanks. It's just very different. All right, here's my point. We love to love. Like Think about how emotional Josie is. She loves to love Taylor Swift. We love to love our team. God bless Nathan. He loves to love his Vikings. His heart's broken every season, but he still loves to love the Vikings. Are you going to show a picture of yourself? Look, he's going to show a picture of his Tumblr. So, we love to love. Here's another thing. We love to be loved. Now, I'm making a big, giant point about love and what love drives us to do. Alex is a husband. He's a father. I'm a husband. Father. Nathan's a husband. Father. Listen, bottom line is we love to love. We love to be loved. And we will do anything for love. Meatball introduced us to that idea. Oh, I would do anything for love, but I won't do that. By the way, we don't know. Meatloaf, what did I say? I said meatball. Keep that in there. Don't edit that out. That's really funny. That's a slip. I had the chance to meet Meatloaf a few years ago, and he may have looked like a meatball. Here's the point about love. If you will die for someone you love, if you will suffer for someone you love, if you will sacrifice for someone you love, then imagine the professional application of love. Imagine showing up and loving your work and what you will do, what you will overcome, what you will press through. So finding out what you love, and we've got the Get Clear assessment. I'm telling you, it's worth the $30 in the 15 minutes to just identify, maybe for the first time in your life, what kind of work makes me have love. And love is the key to winning at work, and love is the key to making the money that you desire to make. You want to be a millionaire? You better find something you love. Everything else after that is academic. This is the Ken Coleman Show. Hey, I want you to stop and imagine your life 4 months from now. You got a new skill and a starting salary of more than $75,000. Now, in 15 weeks, and for only $5,000, you can get the skills to land a job in front-end web development through a Bethel Tech micro-credential. And that's way less money and time that you'd spend on a traditional degree to make more dough. Listen, folks, coding skills are in high demand. So with Bethel Tech's front-end web development micro-credential or their data science micro-credential, you can move up. The next class starts April 29th, and the Bethel Tech folks offer you 10% off because you're a Ken Coleman Show listener. Go to betheltech.net/Ken Coleman for details. Terms and conditions do apply. All right, folks, welcome back to the Ken Coleman Show. Okay, last segment, I mentioned the Get Clear assessment as something that I think is so worth your time to be able to identify the type of work that you love that brings you joy. Because I believe that success professionally is built on that. And so we have written this book, short book. Look how small this is. It's fantastic. Now, this is a book that sounds like every other book I've written. Find the work you're wired to do, except that this is a book that is a companion to the Get Clear Career Assessment, a 15-minute assessment that measures what you're good at, that's talent, what kind of work you enjoy, passion, and results that you want to put into the world. In other words, what do you want your work to do for the world? And we call that mission, and that's what motivates us. So if we can understand what we do best and what we love to do most and what results motivate us, that's where we figure out that sweet spot in the world of work. And so the assessment and this companion book, this is now on pre-order. You can go to kencoleman.com and get it. And this is me coaching you once you get your assessment results. We heard from you. Many of you said the assessment was really, really great. It gave me awareness but I need a little help with direction. And so that's why I wrote this. And so this along with the assessment, this book, Find the Work You Are Do. By the way, it comes with the assessment. And if you pre-order it, you get the audiobook and the ebook plus 2 additional assessments. So this is an unbelievable deal just for pre-ordering the book. It comes out in May. It's a very quick release. We just want to get this out there. But this is going to help with the assessment answer these questions. You ready? Who am I? What's my uniqueness? What do I want to do? This is the work I want to do. The answer to what should I do in my life? Hello. And then where can I do it? Showing me direction and how I get there. And this is the selection process. So all that to say, you can get it at kencoleman.com. I'm just going to leave that there. I like the way that looks. Okay. I want to get to a small business topic. Those of you that are in small business, those of you that are thinking about one day opening up a business, this is gonna feel straight out of the headlines, but I want you to understand this is about you understanding the economics of running a business. Okay, does everybody get that? That's what we're talking about. Because I don't want you to get lost in the headline, because I'm gonna unpack it. Okay, here's a headline: pizza chain closes California locations before minimum wage law takes effect. California Pizza Hut franchises to lay off over 1,100 delivery drivers. Two separate stories. It's got a pizza theme. I should have ordered a pizza today. I should have been eating a pizza while I'm sharing this, because I think for some reason that might be more powerful. Here we go. Two quick stories. Mod Pizza has 500 locations nationwide. Where are my glasses? There it is. See, Alex, I'm telling you, it's terrible. Mod Pizza, 500 locations nationwide. They closed 5 shops at the end of March in California. Now, this is a result of the April 1 adoption of legislation in California that increases the minimum wage for restaurant workers that have at least 60 locations nationwide. The only exceptions to those, the only exception to the legislation are those that make and sell their own bread. Now, can I point something out really quick? Because this is going to be an economic lesson, and some of you are going to get really pissy, but I just beg you to listen to what I'm saying, not what you're feeling. Now, why would the California legislature, Alex, and I'm going to make you, even if you don't know, I want you to play along. Why would the California legislature make an exception to the minimum wage hike for restaurants that make and sell their own bread? Do you have a guess? And if you don't know, just say I pass.
They want to make them like a bakery, like close to a bakery in a classification or something.
Okay, that may be true. I'm going to tell you what I think the answer is. The answer is because it is expensive. It is more expensive for those restaurants because they're making and selling the bread. In other words, most places you go to, any place you go to, Five Guys here, they're buying their buns from actually a company in Nashville sells most of the buns nationwide to like fast food chains. So it costs more money and more labor hours to make your bread. Does that make sense? Now, that's important to point out for this Economics 101 lesson, because some people think that I'm this heartless conservative. You got half of it right. I am a conservative, but I have a massive heart. But understand, why would the California legislature say, well, I tell you what, we're not going to force companies that make their own bread to do a minimum wage hike? And here's where we're going, folks. Watch. This is called costs and overhead. All right, back to the article. We're going to move fast. Here's what the change is. The minimum wage was $16 an hour. Now it's $20 an hour. That equates to an annual salary of $41,600. I can already hear some of you going, well, that's still not a lot of money. You can't even live in California on $41,000. Again, separate problem. But watch. Okay, great. Let's pay every minimum wage worker $20 an hour at restaurants and fast food places. Let's do that. Yes, they should make more money. I'm all for it. Wait, what's the rest of the story? I'm going to skip Gavin Newsom's quote. He basically says in this, it's been decades and that workers at fast food restaurants have been fighting for higher wages and better working conditions. And as if a fast food job is a career, and it is not, unless you're the manager of it and you're moving up. Those point of service positions are not career positions. Nobody wants to be there long term. Some people say, well, that's what they did. Well, if they choose that, that's fine. But here's the deal. Here's a quote from one of the owners. of the pizza chain. This is the last thing we wanted to do to close the stores, but the business would not be able to absorb the wage hike. This is a business play. Do you think that these franchisees, who many of you say were greedy and all about making money, do you think they want to take the massive loss and shut down their restaurants? You're out of your mind if you think they do. Of course they don't. But here's the deal. They're running the numbers, folks. There are costs involved. Costs. Pizza Hut laying off 1,100 drivers. Why? Because there's costs. Let's run the numbers really quick, making this up. I'm not even going to get real numbers. Let's just look at it. Okay. For you to go in and buy your combo meal, okay? There's the cost of bread. There's the cost of the meat. There's the cost of the condiments. There's the cost of renting the space. There's the cost of electric. There's the cost of gas. There's the cost of the equipment. There's the cost of cleaning the restaurant. There's the cost of, and just go on and on and on and on and on. And then you get to, there's the cost of paying my employees. So you add up all those costs. And then you add up all the burgers and hot dogs or whatever it is that you're selling, pizza that you're selling. And the amount of pizza you sell and the profit on that pizza after all those expenses are taken away has got to be enough to pay the people to serve the pizza. And when it's not, that's when restaurants shut down. So all these politicians, they try to put this stuff out there to win elections, to play to your emotions. But folks, two things happen. There are good people who actually lost their job, and I think they'd have been thrilled with $16 an hour versus 0. Oh, we didn't think about that. Second thing, if the restaurant's able to stay open, guess what they do? They pass the cost on to you. So it's not going to be too long for those of you that are cheering minimum wage workers making $42,000 a year in an unsustainable economic model. Guess where it becomes unsustainable? Two ways. They either close and those people lose their jobs and they're on the street making no money, or B, you're paying $25 for a combo meal. Folks, economics is not a political principle. It's just a fact. Businesses are in the business of making money, and when they make money, you get to keep your job. When they aren't making money, you don't get to keep your job. Folks, it's economics 101. Let's get politicians out of minimum wage, and let's let companies make money, and let's coach people on how to win in their work. And when we do that, the people will make enough money. Enough with the minimum wage hikes. All right, welcome back to the Ken Coleman Show. Thrilled that you were with us. We got a coaching call coming up. If you ever want to get coached on the show, you can email us, ask@kencoleman.com, and would love to have you on. Let's go to Ruben, who joins us now in Los Angeles, California. Ruben, how can I help?
Oh, hi, Ken. It's an honor to be on the show.
Well, it's my honor to talk to you, sir. What's happening that I can help with?
So my wife and I were actually long-term listeners of the show and the Dave Ramsey show as well.
Oh, cool.
And then a little bit of background about me. So I'm actually 27, just got married nine months ago, doing my MBA, expected to graduate this December of 24. And I'm currently working as a bookkeeper in like a large organization. So my question for you is basically, well, and actually I do have the Get Clear assessment as well, kind of summarized in front of me here.
Oh, good.
But yeah, so my question is essentially, how do I find basically what I'm built to do? Because the Get Clear assessment, it's spot on. It's spot on, and it describes me. I just cannot find that or pinpoint that role. Okay.
Well, this is exciting because this is why, folks, if you're listening and watching, this is why I wrote this new book, Find the Work You're Wired to Do. And I'm going to give this to you, Ruben. It's under pre-sale right now. It comes out in May. But I wrote this book for people like you who got their assessment results and said, man, it absolutely nails me. I know who I am. I'm having a hard time picking what I want to do or where I can do it. And so I'm going to, the way I coach on the air is essentially what I do in this book. So, so let's break this thing down. Okay. I want you to tell me your results slowly. Give me the top 3 talents.
Okay. Talent 1, execution. Talent 2,
hold on,
inspection.
I can't write that fast. And then inspection, execution, inspection. What else?
And discernment.
Oh, discernment. Okay. This is really fun, audience. Stay with me on this. Passions, top 3 types of work that you love. What are they?
So number 1 is finishing. And number 2, analyzing. And number 3, researching.
Researching. Oh my gosh, this is so obvious to me. It's jumping off the page. All right, last one, missional result. This is the type of results that drives you. You get up, and if you know you're going to create these results, you're naturally motivated. What's that answer?
So that's creation.
Creation. Wow. Fascinating. Okay, here's how this is what I do in the book, by the way. Okay? So there are 4 types of, 4 areas of work, Ruben. Okay, so every job, every career could essentially fall into 4 categories. Okay, they are, and if you got something to write with, or you can remember this because you're going to choose here in a second. They are idea work. Okay, people work, process work, and object work. Makes sense when I say object, like working with things, like more working with your hands, that kind of thing. Okay, got it. Okay. So you got idea work. That's it's me. I'm in the idea and people space. And you can kind of cross over a couple, but the type of work I do, would you say falls into the categories of people and ideas?
Like the work that you currently do?
The work that I do. Yeah, the work that I do. Does that make sense to you? Yeah. Because I tell you what, know, my work right now does not involve objects or processes, correct?
Okay, correct.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
All right. So when we look at your results, execution, that's getting stuff done. Inspection, you're a guy that just walks in a room and you see everything that needs to be improved or could be better. And then discernment, you see where those begin to fall. So execution and inspection, for instance, which 4 areas of work do you think that would fall in? Ideas, people, process, or object? What do you think?
I want to say a little bit of object, even though it's not what I'm doing right now in my current work, a little bit of object, maybe a little bit of people in there as well, and process, I would say.
Absolutely. So now you're starting to get this, right? So this is a quick exercise to go, there's a people element to this, and that says yes to me because I see the talent of discernment. That is a people skill. Discernment is people, heavy people, got a little bit of process to it. Yeah? You know, like I can discern which process is better than the other. All right. Now let's go to passion. Finishing, analyzing, researching. Again, I see a lot of system stuff there, a lot of process stuff. Do you see that? All right. And now look at your missional result, creation. So this is what I see. You want to create things, and I think mostly processes, maybe an object. But that's what gives you the jam. It's about the creation. It's about thinking it up. It's a solve for something else. And that's why the inspection and the discernment and the execution stand out to me. The analyzing, this is the problem, or this is the potential process that could be fixed. I need to research how that could be done, and then I want to get it done. Why? All for the purpose of something new, something better. Does that resonate with you?
Yes, absolutely. And if I can give maybe a little kind of, backstory, very short.
Sure.
It's not like a career, but just kind of a job that I used to have back when I was a little bit younger. Like I used to work at a tobacco shop, which is, of course, you're dealing with people and stocking this, I would order inventory, this and that. So you're kind of moving out and about all day, doing different things. And my shift wasn't 8 hours, it was 13 hours. And the time, sure, were there days that I didn't really want to work? Of course, happens to everybody. But for the most part, I would say I really enjoyed it. It just flew by. The time just flew by. 13 hours from open to close. I was the only
What'd you enjoy most about it?
I would say I would see about 150 customers per day. Maybe, that part of it, every customer is unique. Needs are different. The inventory, you're kind of managing the whole store, and the whole operation is essentially on you.
Yeah, interesting.
Make sure it flows correctly. Mm-hmm.
So your issue is that you think the assessment hits you right in the head, but you're having a hard time coming up with ideas of what you could do, or are you having a hard time choosing between what you wonder about doing?
I would say picking kind of that ideal role. Maybe it's a little bit of fear too. I would say kind of I don't want to pick the wrong thing.
There's 100%. So why don't we remove fear for a second? What's the thing that you would say, Ken, this is what I want to do today? And you could change it tomorrow. But right now you go, if I remove fear, all the risk, all the things about never choosing the right thing, but I just chose the thing that I think about the most, what is it?
So this is the part, Ken, where I've literally thought of, and there's not a single day that passes that I don't think about this.
Then just say it. Say it.
I don't exactly know which one it is. I can give you some options, but I don't know exactly which one.
Give me the options. Because again, you're not answering the question, but I'm going to get you to answer it this way. So give me the options. How many of them are there? 2 or 3?
Maybe several. So the one is consulting that I've been thinking about, researching about.
Great. Consulting. Great. Mm-hmm. What else? Maybe some type of project management. I don't know what type exactly, though. Not worried about that. Project management. What's another one?
Some type of like economics or accounting type role or something, which, by the way, accounting I can do at my current company, but we can get to that, I guess, later. Yeah.
What else? Give me one more really fast.
Maybe some type of financial services, dealing with people, solving problems type of.
Yeah, I think you're a guy that likes processes and processes that help people, and maybe even that creation element, because that's the thing for you. Let me tell you what your answers are telling me. Your answers are all legitimate paths. None of those are wacky. You're wired potentially to do all of those. Do you know what your issue is? You're absolutely scared to death to make a choice. And the reason you're scared to death to make a choice is because you don't know enough about each of those options. So I'm going to actually give you my book, The Proximity Principle, and you're going to read it, and then you're going to go do it by getting around people in all 3 or 4 of those fields you just mentioned to me. You have got to spend time with people who are doing that, shadow them, ask them enough to where you go, now I know just about everything there is to know about moving into this field, and your heart will select one. You won't even have an option. It'll be so clear to you, but you haven't done that, and that's why you're stuck in your head. Make sense?
Absolutely, yeah. You're
my man.
Spot on.
I know. I've talked to you about 1,000 times over the last 6 years. You just had a different name and you were from a different place.
Yeah, absolutely.
Bro, stop thinking. Start hanging out. Start learning. And your heart will select for you, my friend. Oh, it's so freeing. Just let the heart do what the heart does. It does not lie. This is The Ken Coleman Show.
Thanks for listening to The Ken Coleman Show. For more, you can find the show on demand wherever you listen to podcasts and watch the show on YouTube. You can also find Ken across all social media by following @Ken Coleman.